Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Emily U.S. English, the podcast where you don't just learn English, you live it. I'm your host, Emily, and today I want to take you on a powerful journey. A journey to discover your inner voice, your confidence, and your passion for speaking English naturally. Whether you're walking to school, sitting on a bus, cooking dinner, or relaxing after a long day, I'm so happy you're here. This podcast is your daily companion, full of motivation, real stories, and everyday English that will help you grow step by step. Over the next 10 parts of this special episode series, we'll explore everything that truly matters for English learners. How to overcome fear, how to speak without hesitation, how to train your ears to understand any accent, and how to enjoy every single moment of learning. This isn't just about grammar or vocabulary. It's about transformation. It's about finding your voice, believing in yourself, and becoming unstoppable. So, take a deep breath. Smile, and let's begin our journey together. This is Emily U.S. English, and you're listening to Unstoppable English. When you start learning English, everything feels exciting at first. New words, new sounds, new dreams. But after a while, something changes. You begin to realize it's not just about studying from books or repeating after videos. It's about fighting the little voice inside your head that says you're not good enough yet. Every English learner knows that voice. It's the whisper that makes you hesitate before speaking, the reason you stop yourself from joining conversations, the quiet fear that someone might laugh at your mistakes. But let me tell you something. That voice doesn't know your strength. You've come this far and you're still here, listening, learning, and growing. That means you already have what it takes. You just need to trust it. Fluency isn't about perfection. It's about courage. Every time you open your mouth and try, you are becoming fluent. Every mistake is proof that you are learning. Don't be afraid of sounding imperfect. Even native speakers make mistakes every single day. The difference is that they don't stop. They laugh, correct themselves, and move on. That's what you should do too. Speak, make mistakes, and keep going. Confidence is not something you find. It's something you build. And you build it by doing the very thing that scares you. Imagine this. You walk into a room full of people speaking English. Your heart beats fast. Your hands might feel a little cold, but then you smile and say the first word. That's it. That's your victory. It's not about saying everything perfectly. It's about saying something at all. That first word is the door that opens to hundreds of new moments, new connections, new parts of your life. And once you open that door, you'll never want to close it again. So today, make a promise to yourself. Promise that you'll stop judging your English. Promise that you'll start enjoying the process. Learning a language is not a race. It's a journey. Some days you'll feel proud of your progress, and other days you'll feel stuck. But both days are valuable. Both days mean you are moving forward. The only way to lose is to quit. And you are not a quitter. When you practice, don't just repeat words, speak with emotion. Feel the meaning behind each phrase. English isn't just grammar and vocabulary, it's a rhythm, a melody, a heartbeat. When you say thank you, let it sound grateful. When you say I'm happy, let it sound alive. This is how you connect with people, not just through words, but through feeling. Communication is more than correctness. It's connection. You see, fluency begins not with the tongue, but with the mind. The moment you stop saying, I can't, you start to grow. Say it with me now, wherever you are. I can speak English. Say it again, louder, with confidence. I can speak English. Feel that? That's not just motivation, that's power. Every time you affirm it, your brain believes it more deeply because your brain listens to what you tell it. If you keep saying, I'm bad at English, your brain will believe that. But if you keep saying, I'm improving every day, you'll start to see it happen. Consistency is your greatest teacher. Even 5 minutes of English every day can change your life if you do it with focus. Read something, listen to a short podcast, talk to yourself in the mirror. Describe what you see, what you feel, what you want. Don't wait for the perfect time. The perfect time doesn't exist. The best time is now, because every single day you wait, you lose one more opportunity to become the person you want to be. You don't have to study for hours to make progress. You just have to show up. Small daily actions create massive change. Think about water drops falling on stone. One drop means nothing, but 1,000 drops can shape the rock. That's how habits work. You might not notice progress today, but one day you'll look back and realize how far you've come. You'll remember when you couldn't say a sentence without pausing, and you'll smile because now you can speak for minutes without fear. And remember, you are not alone. Millions of learners around the world are walking this same path. Some are struggling with pronunciation, some with listening, some with confidence. But we are all united by one goal: to grow. That's what makes English beautiful. It connects hearts across oceans. It opens doors to new worlds. It reminds us that we are part of something bigger. Every time you speak, you're not just learning a language, you're building bridges. So today, don't worry about your accent. Don't worry about your grammar. Focus on your message. People care about what you say, not how perfect it sounds. Speak with honesty, and your words will reach others. Because true communication doesn't come from the mouth, it comes from the heart. Every word you speak in English carries courage. Every time you choose to try again, you're rewriting your story. So be proud of every single effort, no matter how small it seems. Remember, even the most fluent speakers started where you are right now, unsure, nervous, afraid. But they kept going, and so will you. You're already doing something extraordinary. You're training your mind to think in another language. You're building new connections between ideas, cultures, and feelings. That's not easy. It's powerful. You're expanding your world, and with every word, you're growing stronger. So keep going. Keep learning. Keep speaking. Don't chase perfection. Chase progress. Because progress, no matter how small, is still movement towards your dreams. There's a quiet moment every learner faces. The moment when you sit in front of your notebook or your phone or your screen and you feel tired. You wonder if you're really improving. You ask yourself, why can't I speak as fast as I think? Why do I forget words I already learned? And that's when the voice of doubt returns, softly whispering, maybe this isn't for you. But you know what? That's the moment that separates dreamers from achievers. The moment you feel like giving up is the moment you must push harder. Because fluency doesn't grow from comfort. It grows from resistance, from the effort you make when no one is watching, from the discipline to try one more time even when you're tired. Every learner has those hard days. Some people think they're the only ones struggling, but the truth is, everyone feels lost sometimes. Even people who seem confident have moments of fear. The difference is that they don't stop. They accept that learning English or learning anything is not a straight line. Some days you climb quickly, other days you feel like you're sliding down. But as long as you keep moving, you're still rising. The only real failure is to stand still. So next time you feel stuck, remind yourself that progress is often invisible. It happens quietly, beneath the surface, just like seeds growing under the soil. You might not see results today, but that doesn't mean nothing's happening. Your brain is working, connecting, adapting, remembering. Every word you listen to, every sentence you repeat, every time you understand something new, your mind changes. It's learning. It's expanding. That's why you must celebrate small wins. Did you understand a movie line today without subtitles? Celebrate it. Did you express your thoughts in English even with mistakes? Celebrate that too. Every step matters. Too often, learners only celebrate big milestones, but it's the small steps that build the big ones. Think of yourself as a mountain climber. You can't jump to the top. You go step by step, breath by breath, and every small movement takes you higher. One of the biggest lessons I've learned from teaching and from my own experience is this: motivation fades, but habits stay. You won't always feel inspired. Some days you'll feel lazy, distracted, or unmotivated. That's okay. The key is not to rely on motivation. Rely on consistency. Make English a part of your life, not just a subject you study. Listen to English when you cook. Read English posts when you scroll. Think in English when you're alone. Turn it into your environment. Because when English becomes part of your daily rhythm, fluency follows naturally. If you've ever felt that learning English takes too long, I want you to remember this: time will pass anyway. 6 months from now, 1 year from now, that time will come whether you study or not. The question is, who will you be when it arrives? Will you be the same, still waiting for confidence to appear? Or will you be stronger, wiser, and more fluent because you kept going? The choice is always yours. Many learners ask, how can I speak English without fear? And my answer is simple. You can't completely remove fear, but you can speak despite it. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's action in the presence of fear. When you speak even though you're nervous, that's courage. When you try again after making mistakes, that's bravery. You don't have to be fearless to speak well, you just have to be willing. Let's talk about mistakes for a moment. Mistakes are your teachers in disguise. Every error is a lesson trying to guide you toward improvement. If you never make mistakes, it means you're not challenging yourself enough. Think of a child's learning to walk. They fall hundreds of times, but they never think, maybe walking isn't for me. They get up and try again, and soon walking becomes natural. That's how language works too. You fall, you rise, and you grow. The next time you hear yourself saying, I can't, stop and add one word: yet. I can't speak fluently, yet. I don't understand everything, yet. That little word changes everything. It turns a limitation into a possibility. It reminds you that you are on a journey, and that journey isn't finished. You are a work in progress, and that's beautiful. Now, let's talk about one powerful secret: visualization. Every great athlete, musician, and speaker uses it. Visualization means seeing your success in your mind before it happens. Close your eyes and imagine yourself speaking English clearly, confidently, smiling, connecting with others. Feel the pride and joy of that moment. The more you visualize success, the more your brain believes it's real. Your mind doesn't know the difference between what's imagined and what's experienced, so train it to believe in your success. And while you're building your mind, don't forget to take care of your emotions. Learning a language is emotional work. There will be days when you feel proud and other days when you feel frustrated. Don't fight those emotions. Accept them. They're part of your growth. When you feel discouraged, take a break, breathe, and remind yourself why you started. You started because you believed in something. Maybe a dream job, a future abroad, or simply the joy of understanding people from different worlds. Hold on to that reason. Let it guide you through the hard days. You must also learn to be kind to yourself. Too many learners are their own worst critics. They compare themselves to others and forget how far they've come. But comparison steals joy. You are not supposed to sound like anyone else. Your English voice is unique, shaped by your story, your accent, your culture. Don't hide it. Embrace it. Your accent isn't a mistake. It's a memory of where you came from. It's a symbol of courage, proof that you dared to learn something new. And here's something even deeper. Learning English isn't just about language. It's about identity. It's about discovering new sides of yourself, the version of you who can express, connect, and dream beyond borders. When you speak another language, you become more than you were before. You don't lose your culture, you expand it. You add new colors to your life. So if you ever feel like giving up, remember that every word you learn, every sentence you practice, every challenge you overcome is part of something much bigger than grammar or pronunciation. You are becoming a global communicator. You're learning to listen, to understand, to share, and that makes you powerful. You might not realize it yet, but every time you practice English, you're also training resilience. You're building patience. You're teaching your brain to handle discomfort and still move forward. That's the same skill successful people use in every area of life, in careers, in relationships, in dreams. English is just the tool. The real lesson is persistence. So don't give up now. You are in the middle of your journey, and this is where most people quit. But you won't. You'll keep going, even when it's hard, even when progress feels invisible. Because you know, everything worth having takes time. And when you finally speak fluently, when you look back and remember how much you struggled, you'll realize it was all worth it. You'll smile, not because the journey was easy, but because you didn't give up. Keep walking, keep speaking, keep believing. Your voice matters, your effort matters, and your dream is closer than you think. There comes a time when you realize that English is not just something you learn. It becomes something you live. It's no longer just words on a page. It's the way you see the world. You begin to think in English, to dream in English, to feel emotions in English. And that's when you truly start becoming fluent. Not when you stop making mistakes, but when you stop translating your heart. When you start expressing it directly. Many learners spend years waiting for the perfect moment, the moment when they will finally feel ready to speak, the day they'll be fluent enough to sound natural, but that moment never arrives. You don't wait for fluency, you create it. Every sentence you speak, no matter how broken it feels, is a piece of fluency being built. You don't need permission to speak. You don't need to reach some invisible level. You just need to begin, now, right where you are, with what you have. Think about a musician. They don't wait until they're perfect before playing in front of others. They practice, perform, make mistakes, and get better each time. Speaking English is the same. Your voice might tremble at first. Your words might come slowly, but the courage to try is what creates your rhythm. Every time you speak, you tune your voice a little more. And one day, without realizing it, you'll sound natural, not because you memorized thousands of rules, but because you use them in life. So stop asking, when will I be fluent? And start asking, how can I enjoy learning today? Because when you enjoy the process, fluency takes care of itself. It sneaks up on you in quiet moments, when you're chatting with a friend, when you're watching a movie and suddenly understand a joke, when you write your thoughts in English without thinking too much. Those are the milestones that truly matter. The truth is, learning English is not about being better than others. It's about being better than you were yesterday. Every time you improve a little, you should be proud. Every time you choose to keep learning instead of giving up, you win. Because every word you know, every sound you master, every sentence you understand represents effort, your effort. Let's talk about your mindset. The way you think shapes everything you do. If you tell yourself that English is hard, it becomes hard. If you tell yourself you can't speak, your brain will find ways to prove it. But if you tell yourself that learning English is exciting, that you are capable, your energy changes. You start to look for possibilities instead of problems. You stop fearing challenges because you see them as opportunities. Your mindset is like a garden. Whatever thoughts you plant will grow. If you plant doubt, you'll harvest hesitation. But if you plant confidence, you'll harvest courage. So water your mind with positivity every single day. Speak kindly to yourself. Replace "I'm bad at English" with "I'm learning every day." Replace "I'm too old" with "It's never too late." Replace "My accent is ugly" with "My accent tells my story." When you begin to think this way, everything changes. You start to smile when you make mistakes. You start to laugh at your pronunciation errors instead of hiding them. You start to see learning not as a burden, but as a privilege, because that's what it is, a gift. The ability to learn another language is an act of courage, a sign of growth. Sometimes you'll feel that people don't understand you, or they might ask you to repeat yourself. Don't take it personally. It doesn't mean you're not good enough. It just means communication takes two people. Your job is to express. Their job is to listen. And if you need to repeat, that's okay. That's part of connection. Native speakers repeat themselves too. Everyone does. Communication isn't about being flawless. It's about being understood. You must also learn to forgive yourself for forgetting. Forgetting is not failure. It's part of the process. Your brain doesn't lose information, it reorganizes it. When you forget a word, it means your brain is still connecting it to the right context. Be patient. It will come back, usually at the exact moment you need it. Let's imagine this. You're sitting in a cafe abroad. People around you are talking, laughing, living in English. You feel a bit nervous at first, but then you catch a few words, then a few sentences. Suddenly, you're not just listening, you're part of the moment. You're inside the language. That feeling, that mix of pride, excitement, and peace, is what fluency truly means. It's not about speaking like a native. It's about belonging in the conversation. And here's another truth. Fluency doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from using what you know confidently. You could memorize thousands of words and still struggle to speak if you're afraid to use them. But even with the small vocabulary, if you use it bravely, people will understand you. Because communication is 80% confidence and 20% content. Start practicing English in your daily life in simple ways. Talk to yourself. Describe your surroundings. I'm making coffee. The weather is nice today. Say what you feel. I'm tired, but I'm happy. These small sentences train your brain to think in English. They make English your natural voice, not just something you switch on when you study. Don't underestimate the power of listening. Listening trains your rhythm, your pronunciation, and your confidence. Listen to English as much as you can. Podcasts, movies, YouTube videos, music. But don't just listen passively. Listen actively. Repeat what you hear. Mimic the tone, the emotion, the rhythm. That's how you build a natural accent. Not by forcing yourself to sound American or British, but by feeling the flow of the language. Remember, every language has its music. English has a rhythm. Stress, intonation, pauses. If you can feel the rhythm, you'll speak beautifully, even if your grammar isn't perfect. So focus less on rules and more on flow. Speak like you're singing. Let your words dance. And don't be afraid of silence. Sometimes pausing before speaking gives you time to breathe, to think, to feel your words. Fluent speakers also pause. It's not weakness, it's control. The pause is where confidence lives. Most importantly, keep your heart open. English is not just a tool for success, it's a doorway to new human connections. When you speak English, you're able to meet people from all over the world, to understand their stories, to share your own. You realize that we are all more alike than different. We all laugh, dream, love, and hope, just in different languages. So don't chase perfection. Chase connection. That's what truly matters. Because when you connect with people through English, you're not just improving your language, you're enriching your soul. Every word you say, every story you tell, every mistake you make, it's all part of your journey. And your journey is unique. There's no timeline, no finish line. You are exactly where you need to be. Keep walking, keep believing, and keep speaking. One day, you'll realize that the person you always wanted to become, confident, fluent, fearless, is already you. There's something magical about the moment when English stops being just a language and starts becoming a part of who you are. You no longer translate in your head. You no longer worry about each word. You just speak, naturally, from your heart. That's when you know that English is not something you do, it's something you are. But to reach that moment, you must let go of fear. You must allow yourself to sound imperfect, to speak freely, to live the language instead of studying it. Fear is the biggest wall between you and fluency. But here's a truth that might surprise you. Fear never completely disappears. Even advanced speakers sometimes feel nervous. The difference is that they don't let fear stop them. They walk through it. And you can too. The key is to change your relationship with fear. Instead of seeing it as your enemy, see it as a sign that you're growing. Because fear only shows up when something matters. When you're afraid to speak, it means your goal is important to you. It means you care. So thank your fear. Smile at it. And then speak anyway. Every time you do that, you take away some of its power. You prove to yourself that you're stronger than your hesitation. And little by little, your confidence grows. Confidence isn't a gift, it's a skill. You build it through action. You can't think your way into confidence, you have to act your way into it. That's why practice is everything. Speak even when your voice shakes. Speak even when you don't have the perfect words. Speak because every time you do, you are becoming the person you want to be. Think about how babies learn to talk. They don't study grammar books. They listen, imitate, try, fail, and try again. That's how humans learn language, naturally, through experience. You already have that ability. You just need to trust it again. Stop trying to be perfect and start trying to communicate. Language was never meant to be flawless, it was meant to connect hearts. When you focus too much on correctness, you block your flow. You start thinking about every rule, every tense, every tiny detail, and that thinking slows you down. But when you focus on expressing ideas, your words begin to flow more freely. So the next time you want to say something but feel stuck, don't freeze. Just speak. Even if it's not perfect, it's real, and that's what matters. Fluency lives in real conversations, not in textbooks. You learn best when you use English in life. When you talk to people, watch real stories, listen to music, write messages, think out loud. Each of these moments trains your brain in a way that no classroom can. Real English is alive, unpredictable, emotional. It's full of mistakes, laughter, pauses, and connection. That's the kind of English that stays with you forever. And remember, the goal is not to speak without mistakes, but to speak despite them. Every mistake you make today is one fewer mistake you'll make tomorrow. You're training your brain to recognize patterns, to feel rhythm, to find your own voice. So be proud of your mistakes. They mean you're learning faster than those who are too afraid to try. If you ever feel embarrassed when you speak, ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? Are you afraid of being judged? Of sounding different? Of not being understood? Those fears are natural, but they're also illusions. Most people don't care about your accent or your grammar. They care about your message. They care about your smile, your energy, your authenticity. You think they're judging you, but most of the time, they're admiring your courage. Think of the last time you heard someone speaking your language imperfectly. Did you laugh at them? Probably not. You were impressed that they tried. You were patient, kind, maybe even inspired. So why not give yourself the same kindness? You deserve the same understanding you offer to others. Here's a small exercise. Every time you finish a conversation in English, instead of thinking, I made so many mistakes, think, I communicated successfully. Because you did. You made yourself understood in another language. That's not failure. That's success. And when you listen to native speakers, don't focus on what you don't understand. Focus on what you do understand. Even if you catch only half the words, that's progress. Your brain is learning to fill the gaps naturally. The more you listen, the more it adapts. One day, you'll realize that you're understanding full sentences effortlessly, without translation, and it will feel like magic. But that magic is actually science. It's your brain rewiring itself through repetition and exposure. That's why consistency matters more than intensity. 10 minutes every day is better than 3 hours once a week, because every day your brain needs to hear English, to feel English, to live in it. Let English become part of your identity. Read in English. Write your journal in English. Think about your dreams in English. When you live in the language, your progress becomes unstoppable. You start to notice English everywhere, in signs, in songs, in conversations. And that awareness keeps your motivation alive. Now, let's talk about patience. Patience is the quiet strength behind fluency. You can't rush it. You can't force your brain to absorb everything instantly. Language grows slowly, like a tree. It needs time, sunlight, and care. You don't stand next to a tree shouting, "Grow faster!" You water it and you trust the process. The same goes for your English. Keep watering it with practice, and one day it will bloom naturally. You might not feel the growth day by day, but it's happening. Think of all the words you've already learned, the sentences that used to confuse you but now make sense, the times you understood someone without needing translation. Those are all signs of growth. You're evolving even when you can't see it. And here's something beautiful. English gives you not just communication, but confidence in life. When you start expressing yourself in another language, you realize how capable you are. You stop saying, I can't, in English and in life. You begin to see challenges as chances. You start believing in yourself more deeply, because learning English is more than learning words. It's learning courage. There will always be people who doubt you, who tell you that it's too hard, too late, or not worth it. But they're wrong.
You are already proving them wrong every single day you choose to learn. Every time you listen, speak, or practice, you're becoming a better version of yourself. You're building a bridge to a bigger world. So keep walking, keep speaking, keep believing. The world needs your voice. It needs your ideas, your story, your energy. Don't silence yourself because of fear. Let your words flow, imperfect, emotional, alive. Because somewhere out there, someone is waiting to hear exactly what you have to say. Sometimes you might feel stuck, like your English isn't improving, even though you're working hard. But remember this, growth doesn't always make noise. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. The truth is, your brain is always learning in the background, even when you're tired, even when you make mistakes, even when you think you failed, you're still moving forward. Progress is not a straight line. Some days you'll feel confident and fluent, and other days even simple words might feel difficult. That's normal. Every learner, even native speakers, goes through that rhythm. What matters is not perfection, but persistence. You don't have to move fast. You just have to keep moving. Because fluency doesn't come to those who try once in a while. It comes to those who show up every day, no matter how they feel. When you keep showing up, you prove something powerful to yourself, that you are disciplined, that you can do hard things, that you are in control of your growth. And that belief in yourself, that quiet confidence, will change not just your English, but your entire life. Think about this. Every time you open your mouth and speak English, you're creating a new version of yourself, one that is brave, global, open-minded. You're no longer limited by your first language. You can connect with people from all over the world, understand different cultures, and express ideas that once stayed silent. That's not just language learning. That's transformation. And this transformation doesn't require talent. It requires trust. Trust the process. Trust that the time you spend listening, repeating, and practicing will pay off. Trust that even when you feel lost, you are learning. Because the truth is, you're learning more than you think. You're learning how to think in English. You're learning rhythm, pronunciation, culture, emotion, all the invisible things that make you sound natural. It's not just about words, it's about music. English has a melody, a flow, a heartbeat. When you listen deeply, you start to feel it. And once you feel it, you'll never lose it. Try this. Next time you listen to a native speaker, don't only focus on what they say. Focus on how they say it. Notice the pauses, the stress, the emotion. Then imitate it. Speak like you're singing a soft melody with rhythm and feeling. Because language is not a machine, it's art. And you are the artist. When you speak with emotion, your words come alive. You don't just speak English, you breathe it. You give your voice meaning, and people listen differently. They don't care if your grammar is perfect. They care if your message is real. So don't be afraid to sound passionate. Don't be afraid to show who you are. Here's a secret. Fluency loves energy. When you speak with excitement, your brain remembers faster. That's why you learn better when you're having fun. So make English something you love, not something you fear. Watch movies you enjoy. Listen to songs that touch your heart. Read books that inspire you. Turn learning into living. And yes, there will be days when you feel tired, days when motivation fades. That's okay. Even the most fluent speakers have those days. But remember, your future self is waiting for you. The version of you who speaks confidently, travels freely, and connects deeply. Keep going for that person because they're already inside you, waiting to come alive. Let me tell you something. Every expert you admire once started where you are right now. They also doubted themselves. They also struggled. The difference is that they didn't quit. They kept practicing, even when nobody was watching. And one day, everything clicked. One day, they realized that what used to feel impossible had become effortless. That day will come for you too. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day you'll speak and it will flow. You'll surprise yourself. You'll laugh and you'll think, did that just come out of me? That moment will be worth every second of effort. Until then, embrace the journey. Every lesson, every mistake, every challenge is part of your story. Don't rush it. Enjoy it. Because one day you'll look back and realize this journey didn't just teach you English, it taught you resilience, patience, courage, and belief. So speak proudly, listen carefully, learn joyfully. You're not just learning a language, you're becoming unstoppable.
Sometimes people ask, how long will it take to become fluent? But that's the wrong question. The real question is, how can I enjoy the process enough that I never want to stop? Because if you enjoy it, fluency becomes inevitable. When learning feels like joy, not pressure, you naturally stay consistent. And consistency is the secret every fluent speaker knows. Fluency isn't built in one big leap. It's built in thousands of small steps. One podcast, one conversation, one word at a time. Every time you choose English instead of your native language, you're getting closer. Every time you repeat a phrase, every time you think in English before sleeping, every time you catch a word in a movie, you're growing. You may not feel it, but your brain does. You see, your brain loves patterns. The more it hears something, the more it recognizes it. The more it recognizes, the more automatic it becomes. That's how fluency works. Not through memorization, but through repetition and emotion. When you feel something while learning, your brain remembers it forever. That's why stories, emotions, and real experiences are the best teachers. So surround yourself with meaningful English. Don't just study dry material. Listen to things that move you, that make you think, that make you feel. The stronger the feeling, the deeper the learning. If something makes you laugh or cry, you'll never forget the words that carried that emotion. And remember, your accent is not a mistake. Your accent is your identity, your history, your music. It's a map of where you come from, and that's beautiful. You don't need to erase it to sound fluent. You just need to make it clear and confident. Fluency is not about sounding like someone else. It's about sounding like you, clearly, proudly, authentically. Many learners chase perfection because they think it's the same as fluency. But perfection is cold. Fluency is alive. Perfection is about rules. Fluency is about rhythm. You can follow every rule and still sound unnatural, or you can break a few and sound alive. Because real communication is not about correctness, it's about connection. Let's talk about connection for a moment. Every word you say has the power to touch someone. You can make someone smile, inspire them, comfort them, all in another language. That's a kind of magic most people never experience. So don't underestimate yourself. Your words, even imperfect ones, have power. The more you connect, the more confident you become. Confidence doesn't come from grammar books. It comes from real experiences. So go out there, talk to people online, comment in English, write reviews, share your thoughts, record your voice. Don't wait until you're ready, because that moment never comes. Start messy, start small, but start now. And when you start, Do it with kindness. Kindness to yourself. Be patient with your progress. You're learning something extraordinary. English isn't just a subject, it's a new way of thinking, of feeling, of being. So forgive yourself when you forget words. Celebrate yourself when you remember them. Every tiny win matters. Here's a simple trick. At the end of each day, write down one thing you learned in English, just one sentence. It could be a word, an expression, a quote, anything. Over time, that list will grow and so will your pride. You'll see proof of your progress written in your own hand. And when doubt appears, because it will, remind yourself why you started. You didn't start this journey just to pass a test. You started because you dream of a bigger world, a deeper connection, a better version of yourself. That dream is still alive. It's waiting for you to believe in it again. Let English be your bridge to new ideas, new people, new opportunities. Through English, you can study abroad, meet friends around the world, build your career, and express your creativity. But more importantly, through English, you can discover yourself. Because learning a new language doesn't just teach you new words, it teaches you who you are when you start over. It humbles you, stretches you, and strengthens you. You become more open, more curious, more brave. You learn that mistakes don't define you, they refine you. So next time you stumble on a sentence, smile. That's your brain growing. Next time you hesitate, breathe. That's your courage preparing to speak. Next time you succeed, celebrate. That's your dream taking shape, one word at a time. You are not behind. You are right where you need to be. Every English learner feels lost sometimes, even the ones you admire. But the only real failure is giving up. And I know you won't because you've come too far to stop now. The world is full of voices, but none sound like yours. And that's what makes your English journey special. You're not just learning a language, you're finding your voice. And when you finally use it, the world will listen. Fluency is not a destination. It's a journey, one that changes you from the inside out. Along the way, you'll meet challenges, doubts, and even moments of silence. But those quiet moments are not empty. They are part of your transformation. Because silence is where your thoughts grow, where your understanding deepens, and where your confidence starts to bloom. Think about it. Every time you pause before speaking, your brain is building a bridge between languages. That pause is not weakness, it's construction. You are literally wiring new connections in your mind. And one day, those pauses will disappear, not because you forced them away, but because you no longer need them. Fluency is built in those invisible moments, the times when you listen carefully, when you reflect, when you try again after a mistake. Each one matters. Each one shapes the way your mind understands English. There's something powerful about persistence. When you keep going, even when nobody sees, even when it feels slow, you're building strength that others can't see. Fluency grows in the quiet, not in the noise. It's like the roots of a tree, invisible but essential. And when your roots are strong, your words will rise effortlessly. So don't rush your growth. Let it happen naturally. Because what you're doing is more than learning English. You're building a mindset. You're teaching yourself patience, focus, and resilience. Those qualities will help you not only in language, but in everything you do. There's a moment in every learner's life when things start to click, when listening becomes easier, when words flow naturally, when you suddenly realize you didn't translate in your head. That moment feels like magic, but it's not luck. It's the result of every single minute you invested, every challenge you overcame, every small step you took. And that's why you should be proud, not just of your fluency, but of your courage. Because learning a language means choosing growth over comfort. It means showing up even when you're afraid. It means saying, I'm not perfect, but I'm trying. That kind of bravery deserves recognition. So take a deep breath and appreciate how far you've come. You've faced frustration, confusion, and self-doubt. But you're still here, still learning, still believing. That's strength. That's progress. Now, let's talk about something we often forget: curiosity. Curiosity is your superpower. When you stay curious, you never run out of motivation. Ask questions. Explore why people say things the way they do. Notice differences between cultures, tones, and expressions. The more curious you are, the more alive your learning becomes. English is not just words. It's a window to the world. It opens doors to new stories, new friendships, and new ways of thinking. Every time you learn a new word, you're learning a new idea. Every phrase you understand connects you to a new part of humanity. That's what makes language so beautiful. It's not just about communication, it's about connection. And connection changes everything. When you connect with people through English, you stop feeling like a student. You start feeling like a global citizen. You realize that fluency isn't just about speaking perfectly, it's about being understood, being heard, and sharing yourself honestly. When you have a conversation in English, even a short one, that's not just practice. That's a real human moment. You are exchanging thoughts, laughter, and emotion. You are building bridges that didn't exist before. That's what makes English alive. So instead of saying, I'm learning English, start saying, I'm living in English. Speak it, breathe it, write it, think it. The more you live in English, the more it becomes part of you, not just in your mind, but in your soul. Here's something to remember. You don't have to be fluent to inspire others. You don't have to be perfect to make someone smile. Your courage to speak already makes you remarkable. There are people who dream of doing what you're doing right now, but fear stops them. You are not one of them. You are doing it. You are living it. That's why when you doubt yourself, I want you to remember this. You are not behind. You are not slow. You are becoming. Every single word you learn adds another layer to the masterpiece you are building. And one day, you'll look back and realize that every struggle had meaning. Every step brought you here. The beautiful thing about learning is that it never ends. There's always something new to discover. A phrase, a story, a culture, a new side of yourself. That's what keeps it exciting. That's what keeps it alive. So keep your heart open, keep your mind curious, and keep your spirit strong. Because this journey, your journey, is already extraordinary. You are not learning English just to speak. You are learning it to connect, to express, to grow, to transform. You are learning it to open your world. And every single day, you are doing exactly that. Sometimes we think that fluency is about knowing every word, but it's not. It's about knowing how to use what you already have. You can express 1,000 ideas with a simple vocabulary if you use it creatively and confidently. Because real communication is not about fancy words, it's about clear feelings. You don't need to sound like a dictionary. You just need to sound like yourself. The more natural and simple your speech is, the more people will understand you. And understanding, not perfection, is the true goal of language. Fluency doesn't mean never making mistakes. It means not letting mistakes stop you. You can't avoid them. You can only grow through them. Every fluent speaker has a long history of mistakes behind them. What makes them different is not talent, but courage. The courage to keep trying when it feels uncomfortable. When you make a mistake, don't think, I failed. Think, I learned. Because mistakes are feedback, your brain's way of showing you where to improve. They're not signs of weakness. They're signs of learning in progress. And remember, your journey doesn't need to look like anyone else's. Some people learn faster, some slower. Some speak well but struggle to write. Others write beautifully but hesitate to speak. That's okay. Everyone has their own rhythm. What matters is that you keep going at your pace. Comparison is the thief of joy. When you compare yourself to others, you forget how far you've come. So instead of saying, they're better than me, say, they inspire me. Let their success remind you that it's possible, that if they can do it, so can you. Your voice is unique. No one else in the world has your exact thoughts, your emotions, your story. That's what makes your English special. It's not about copying others. It's about expressing yourself in your own way. Even if your accent is strong, even if your grammar isn't perfect, your message can still touch hearts. Because authenticity is more powerful than perfection. Sometimes we forget why we started. Maybe you began learning English for your career, for travel, for studies, or simply out of curiosity. But somewhere along the way, you discovered something deeper. That English gives you freedom. The freedom to express yourself, to connect with others, to explore the world. That freedom is worth every challenge. And yes, learning English takes effort, but it also gives you back so much more. It gives you confidence. It gives you connection. It gives you a new perspective on life. You start to see the world differently, to understand people beyond borders, to think in new ways. English doesn't just open doors, it opens hearts. Here's something beautiful to think about. Somewhere, right now, another learner on the other side of the world is practicing just like you. Maybe they're listening to the same podcast, reading the same words, dreaming the same dream. You might never meet them, but you're connected. Through this shared language, this shared hope. You're part of a global community of learners who are all growing together. So never feel alone on this journey. Every time you listen, repeat, or learn a new phrase, Someone else out there is doing the same. You're walking the same path, together, step by step. That's the beauty of English. It unites us. And when you feel tired, remember your why. Why did you start? What do you dream of doing with your English? Maybe you want to study abroad. Maybe you want to travel freely. Maybe you just want to express yourself without fear. Whatever your reason, hold on to it, because that reason will carry you through the hard days. When motivation fades, discipline keeps you moving. And when discipline fades, love for learning will lift you again. That's why you must keep your heart open, not just to the language, but to the journey itself. You're not racing anyone. You're not behind schedule. You are learning at the speed that's right for you. Trust that pace. Trust yourself. And when you look back one day, you'll see every small effort added up. Every single day mattered. The days when you practiced and even the days when you didn't. Because progress isn't made by perfection, it's made by persistence. Fluency is waiting for you. Not in the future, but here, in every word you speak, every story you listen to, every thought you form in English. You are already living in it. You are already becoming fluent. So keep speaking, keep listening, keep shining. Because you're not just learning English, you're discovering your voice, your strength, your story. And that's something truly beautiful.
There will be days when English feels heavy, when you forget words you thought you knew, when your sentences sound broken, when you feel like all your effort isn't enough. Those moments are painful, I know, but they are also proof that you are growing. You only struggle because you are stretching. You only feel lost because you are moving forward into something new. Growth is not comfortable. It never is. But comfort never created fluency. The moment you step into discomfort, when you try to speak, when you risk sounding imperfect, that's where true progress happens. Every time you push through fear, you train your mind to be stronger, your voice to be freer, your heart to be braver. So when you feel frustrated, don't give up. Breathe. Remind yourself this is part of it. Every fluent speaker you admire has been exactly where you are right now. They too forgot words, mispronounced things, froze in conversations, but they didn't stop. They learned to smile through it, to keep going, to trust the process. You see, language learning is not about speed. It's about consistency. The ones who win are not the fastest. They're the ones who keep walking. Even when it rains, even when it's dark, they keep taking small steps. Because every step, no matter how small, brings them closer. So take your next step today. Speak a sentence. Write a paragraph. Listen to a story. Repeat what you hear. These small things done daily are what turn effort into excellence. And here's something many people don't realize. Your mindset matters more than your method. You can have the best teachers, the best books, the best tools, but if your mind is full of doubt, you'll block your growth. Believe in yourself first. The method will follow. Confidence is not about knowing everything. It's about trusting that you can handle anything. It's knowing that even if you forget, you'll find your way. Even if you make a mistake, you'll fix it. That kind of confidence doesn't come from grammar lessons. It comes from experience, from doing, from living the language. So let go of perfection. Speak with life, not fear. The more you speak, the more you'll realize English is not an exam. It's a conversation. It's a dance of connection between two minds. You don't need to perform. You just need to participate. Every time you share your thoughts, you are giving someone the gift of understanding. You are showing courage. You are saying to the world, this is me, learning, growing, becoming. That's beautiful. And you know what? You are already inspiring others, even if you don't realize it. Someone is watching you, admiring your effort, feeling motivated by your persistence. Maybe a friend, maybe a stranger online, maybe even someone you've never met. You are proof that it's possible. Your journey is not small. Every hour you spend learning English is an investment in your future. You're opening doors that once felt locked. You're building confidence that will carry into every part of your life, your career, your relationships, your dreams. So don't just learn English, become English. Feel the language, live in it. Let it flow through your thoughts, your emotions, your expressions. When you think in English, speak in English, and dream in English, that's when you know it's becoming a part of you. And yes, one day you'll wake up and realize something magical. English no longer feels like studying. It feels like breathing. It feels natural, easy, free. You'll laugh at how far you've come. You'll remember those moments of doubt and realize they were all part of the path that led you here. So wherever you are right now, beginning, intermediate, or advanced, be proud, be grateful. You are doing something incredible. You are learning the language of the world, the language of opportunity, the language that connects millions of hearts. Keep going even when it's hard, because every time you keep going, you win. One day, you will stand in front of a mirror, speak English effortlessly, and you will smile. Not because you finally sound perfect, but because you remember the journey. You'll remember the nights you practiced alone, the times you were afraid to speak, the moments when you almost gave up. But you didn't. You stayed. You kept learning, even when no one was watching. And that is the kind of strength that changes everything. Because real fluency is not just about words. It's about courage. It's about showing up again and again, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when the results come slowly. You have done that. And that means you are already fluent in something far greater than English. You are fluent in persistence, in self-belief, in the language of growth. Think about it. Every time you repeat a sentence, every time you listen carefully, every time you dare to speak, you are not just learning English. You are building character. You are teaching yourself to be patient, to be curious, to be brave. And that energy, that quiet, determined energy, will guide you not only in English, but in every dream you chase. So when the road feels long, remember this. You are not walking alone. Thousands of learners all over the world are walking beside you. They too struggle. They too dream. They too want to express their hearts in English. Together, we are a community, connected by hope, by courage, by the belief that communication can change lives. And yes, your voice matters. Every time you speak, you make the world a little smaller,
a little warmer. You remind people that connection is possible across cultures, across languages, across fear. So don't hide your voice. Use it. Share it. Because someone out there needs to hear it. The truth is, English is not the destination. It's the bridge. A bridge that connects you to people, ideas, opportunities, and dreams. Walk across it with confidence. Don't wait to be perfect. Perfection is a trap. Progress is freedom. Speak now, learn as you go, and let your heart lead your words. You are ready. You've been ready all along. The only thing left to do is trust yourself. So today, promise yourself this. No more hesitation, no more self-doubt. Speak. Even if your voice shakes, speak. Even if you make mistakes, speak. Because your voice, your real, imperfect, beautiful voice, is what makes English alive. And as you move forward, remember what you've learned here. Remember that every word you say adds power to your confidence. Every mistake is a teacher. Every conversation is a step toward the person you're becoming. You don't need to rush. You don't need to compete. Just stay consistent, stay curious, stay kind to yourself. Because when you love the process, the results will follow naturally. And someday, when someone asks you how you became fluent, you'll smile and say, I didn't give up. That's your story. That's your power. That's your victory. So go. Go speak boldly. Go live fully. Go shine brightly. Because the world needs your voice. The world needs you.